Hey everyone, let's look at the monopolistic competition practice questions. Question number 1, monopolistic competition means we have 4 choices. The answer is going to be C, many farms producing differentiated products. So the products are similar, but this is going to be different. Number 2, monopolistic competition is characterized by this will be large number of farms and low entry barriers. All right, question number 3, 4 farm concentration ratio for industry X is 80%. You just have to look up the definition of 4 farm concentration ratio. So this is gonna be the answer for this is the 4 largest farms account for 80% of total sales. Question 4, the Harfindel-Harshman index for a peer monopolist. So the monopolist occupies 100% of the market because there is a single seller. To calculate the Harfindel-Harshman index, it's going to be 100 square. So we have here 10000. Just square 100 because the monopolist is just they have control over 100% of the market. All right, coming to question number 5, an industry having a 4 farm concentration ratio of 30%. This is going to be a monopolistically competitive industry. Question number 6, demand curve for a monopolistically competitive producer is more elastic than a pure monopolist, but less elastic than a perfect competitor. So it's gonna be like this. For a purely competitive market structure, this is the demand curve. For a monopoly, this is gonna be this one, kind of steep. Monopolistic, this is again downward sloping, but it is flatter. Because it is flatter, we say this one is more elastic than a monopoly market structure. But basically, perfectly competitive market structure, this is perfectly elastic demand curve. So monopolistically competitive market structure, the demand curve is less elastic than this one. All right, going to question number 7. Which of the following is true for a monopolistically competitive farm in the long run? This will be price greater than minimum average total cost, unlike the perfectly competitive market structure in the long run. Question number 8. In the long run, economic theory predicts that a monopolistically competitive farm will have excess production capacity. I'm going to go over this excess production capacity in one of the questions that comes in this set of questions. Question number 9, which of the following is not a characteristic of long-run equilibrium under monopolistic competition? This one, price equals minimum average total cost. No, it's not right. Okay, they're asking you to find out the long run output. Just notice something here. The graph is similar to a monopoly market structure. The monopolistically competitive market structure combines characteristics of a monopoly and a perfectly competitive market structure. All right, so they have us, the question they're asking us, what is the long run equilibrium output? That we can find out by equating marginal revenue to marginal cost of production. So this one is the marginal revenue curve. Then the upward sloping line, this one is the marginal cost curve. So this is going to be the output level, which is D. The price will be all the way from the demand curve, which is equal to A. Notice something? This is the minimum or the lowest point of average total cost curve. This is where we find the minimum point of average total cost curve at the point where marginal cost is cutting the average total cost curve. The production is at this point, which is D. That means in the long run, monopolistically competitive farm or industry will not produce at minimum average total cost, rather produce to the left of minimum average total cost. Okay, that is why we have excess capacity. All right, coming on to question number 11. The demand curve for a monopolistically competitive farm is more elastic than a pure monopolist, right? More elastic means is flatter. This is true. Right, we are at question number 12. The less elastic a monopolistic competitor's long-run demand curve, it will be B. The higher its price relative to a pure competitor having the same cost curves. Okay, so basically this is the demand curve for a perfectly competitive market structure, a perfectly competitive farm, and this is the demand curve for a monopolistically competitive market structure. Because this one is steeper and this one is flatter, and monopolistically competitive market structure, they have the demand curve that is downward sloping. They have some control over the price, so they can control the price of the product unless perfectly competitive market structure. As a result, they will sell at a higher price. Okay. Now, moving forward to question number 13. They're asking us to find the, I would say the excess capacity. This is a question on excess capacity. All right, we have a monopolistically competitive producer. The farm is experiencing what? Just as we did before, this is the output for a monopolistically competitive market structure. So the output is equal to D, and at this point, the price is greater than minimum average total cost. And if we compare this to the output, which is E, E is the output at which price is equal to minimum average total cost, like this one, where E is intersecting ATC. So E is produced at the point of minimum average total cost, unlike this output, which is D, and this is produced not at the point of minimum average total cost. And this output D is also the monopolistically competitive output. So the difference between these 2 points, this is the excess capacity. So your answer will be D. There will be A. There is an excess capacity of DE. Like this is the characteristic of monopolistically competitive market structure. Producing greater than minimum average total cost. And this is basically the perfectly competitive output. So basically they are producing less than perfectly competitive market structure. All right, moving over to question number 14, monopolistically competition. This one entails an under allocation of resources due to excess capacity. Question 15. If some firms leave a monopolistically competitive industry, the demand curve will do what? The demand curve of the remaining firms, those are going to shift to the right. Okay. Question number 16. When a monopolistically competitive firm is in the long run, which one is true? Definitely this one. MR is always equal to MC and price is greater than minimum average total cost. All right, long run price. This is question 17. I think right now you are really good at this. To find long run equilibrium price, it has to be from the demand curve. And before that, okay. All right, so the price find from the demand curve. Before we find the price, we need to find out the output level. First, we need to find out the output level, which we can find at the intersection of marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. This is my marginal revenue curve. The upward sloping line is my marginal cost curve. This one's a marginal cost curve. The equilibrium output is at the intersection of marginal revenue and marginal cost, which is D. Then what you got to do here is, this is not the price. A lot of students make this mistake. You have to extend this all the way to the demand curve here, and this is gonna be the price. The same we have for monopoly market structure. You always find out the price from the demand curve. Right, going to question number 18. I have a set of 3 graphs, and the question is asking me what is the long run equilibrium. Already, there is some similarity between perfectly competitive market structure and a monopoly market structure. Like we have zero economic profit in the long run for perfectly competitive market structure and a monopoly market structure. Okay, take a look at the first graph here. The output will be here where MR is equal to MC. Now we can extend this all the way here already. So this is got to be, all right, this is going to be the price, and this one is what? This is my average total cost. So the price is equal to average total cost. All right, do not make any confusion here. This is the lowest point of average total cost, but this is some other point of average total cost. And from here, price is equal to average total cost. If you recall the definition of profit, which is equal to price minus average total cost times output. So from graph A, the profit is equal to 0. So this is the long run for a monopolistically competitive market structure. If you look over here, this is the output. This is going to be the price. The average total cost is below the price. This is not a long run. Just do not make this mistake here. Only in the long run we have zero economic profit. However, in the short run, we have a positive economic profit, or we can have a negative economic profit, like in this situation. Price is here, average total cost is above the price. So here we have average total cost greater than price. This one's a loss. This one's B is a profit, C is a loss, and A is zero economic profit. So your answer is going to be diagram A only. Okay. Now going to question number 19. Okay, what's going on here? Do we have a profit or do we have a loss? This is my output, which we get at the intersection always of MR equal to MC. This is my equilibrium output. Now the next step you have to do is extend this all the way to the demand curve. This is my price. My average total cost is this one. Because price is greater than average total cost, if the students are comfortable with numbers here, let's say the price is 100, average total cost is 80, and output is equal to 10. If price is greater than average total cost, we have a profit. I can also calculate the profit for you, which is price minus average total cost times output, which is equal to 10. So I have 20 times 10, which is 200. What happens if we have a positive profit? And this is definitely not the long run, because long run we always have zero economic profit. This is a short run scenario, and if we have a profit, more firms are going to enter this industry, just like a perfectly competitive market structure. Okay. Now question number 20, a monopolistically competitive firm's marginal revenue curve is below the demand curve and is also definitely downward sloping. Alrighty, these are all the questions, and you can hit like and subscribe if you think you like this video. Thank you very much.